Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's time for interview again, and I have an amazing lady lined up for you. And so before I introduce you to her, how is your Monday? How did your Monday start, and how are you doing? Just let me know in the comments whether you're watching this live or on the replay. Let me know. I'm here buddying up with my niece, working on the very first online course that I'm about to launch in a couple of weeks. And it is sunny, which is a very good thing because yesterday it was raining a lot in here. So we're gonna move this after lunch to the garden so we can enjoy the warmth and the sun also. So without further ado, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce you to Kay Newton. Kay Newton is an award-winning international speaker, voracious author, troubleshooter and founder of Midlife Strategies. She is a specialist at guiding people to get their midlife mojo back after more deeply and profoundly than they have experienced before. For the past 30 years, Kay has helped hundreds of men and women realize the better version of themselves. I'm gonna add Kay so we can get to know Kay way better than in this wonderful bio. Good afternoon, Kay.
Hello, we did it. Hello,
Yes.
how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
How's the weather in sunny Mallorca?
We also had rain yesterday, so like you, but just a big storm, not for very long, but it's just cooled the air down, so now we're not so drippy, because the last week or so it's been unbearably hot. So yeah, good.
Yeah, it was in the Netherlands also. I was literally melting. It
That's
was
a bit,
that warm.
that's a nicer word, melting, than drippy, isn't it?
Absolutely. So share a little bit about you. I just shared your bio with our audience, but share a little bit. What do you do?
So I work mainly with women, but I do work with men as well. Men and women over 50, and I help them sort of when they're at the crossroads in their life and wanting to move forward to make the second half of their life much more exciting and fulfilling. And it can be anything, those crossroads. It can be anything from empty nest syndrome to just maybe your parents have just died and you've got some money and you're not quite sure where you want to go. You want to do something different. So helping them decide, that's really what I do.
Awesome. And what is some of the, what's the word I want to use? What's some of the most remarkable crossroads that you have come across with helping your clients?
Yeah, well, they're all personal, they're all individual, and they're all unique, obviously. What I like to see is what I call the light bulbs and the goose pimple moments. So when you're sat with a client and you've created the space for them and they've opened up to you a little bit, and then all of a sudden they go, wow, you know, and this is brilliant. And just before that sort of light bulb goes off and their face brightens, I get what I call goose pimples. So I can feel the skin on, the hairs on my skin lift up, and I just know that we've hit there. And it can be something simple. I've just been working with a client, and she knows she wants to do something different, probably wants to move out of the UK, and she found where she wants to move to. And then after doing a little bit of Google research, she's not only just found where she wants to go, i.e. the country, but where in the country.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. I love when that happens.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Sonal says, hi, Lubna and Kay. She's
Hi,
watching with
Sonal.
us. And Angela Bacon, I believe, says, morning, Kay. So
Morning, Angela.
We have a couple of ladies following our chat. And I love what you shared about goosebumps and a light bulb moment going off, and especially because in my experience it usually is something simple. It could be a question or a word that you use and they're like, OMG, I just know what I need to be doing right now. So that's especially great to see the transformation in the faces of the people that we get to support on a daily basis. And you have quite a remarkable story on how you ended up in Mallorca.
Yeah, I did. I finished university and ended up working in retail. I was a baby bouncer, I called myself. I was a trainee manager for mother care in those days. And I really hated my job. I was bullied by the manager who really didn't like having somebody with a degree in her team. And I used to go and sit on my father's boat down in Hull Marina. And when I mean boat, I mean a tiny little sailboat. But it was my safe haven to go and eat my sandwiches and have a good little cry where nobody could see me. And I was there one day when this amazingly big yacht came into the marina. Well, big for Hull Marina. It's 20 metres, so compared to the boats down here in Mallorca, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
But for there, it was big. So I asked the lock keeper where it was going, and he told me Mallorca. And so I organised with him to meet the owner and the crew that night in the pub. And I packed in my job and got on the boat, and I sailed all the way to Mallorca. And I never swam back. I've been here 35 years, I think, now.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about a crossroad in your life.
Yeah.
How did you know that that was the best thing that you needed to do at that moment in your life?
I don't think I knew it was the best thing. It was just something that, an opportunity that came up, and I just took it. Sometimes you can call it synchronicity. I don't know how you want to word it. But it was just, I am miserable, and this is an opportunity to change. And so I did. I literally jacked in my apartment, threw all my stuff at my parents' house. My poor father, I think, was more upset than my mother.
Yeah.
I think he took the owner and to one side and said, "You better look after my daughter," but I never knew about that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, that is so cool. Especially because for me, that sounds just amazing. I mean, just literally pack everything up, move to another country on a boat with people you've never met, just because you had that moment in that little sailboat and thinking, this is not how I want to spend my life. And then opportunity struck, and whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you've spent over 30 years right now in Mallorca. What made you stay?
Again, I think it's this word synchronicity, isn't it? So I was on the boat for the season, and then I left, went to Hong Kong to see some friends down there for 6 weeks, and decided Hong Kong wasn't for me. I didn't like it there.
Yeah.
Came back to the UK to my parents to literally go on the dole, and there was a letter from the boat we'd been moored alongside for the whole season in Mallorca, and they had an offer of a job. So instead of signing on the dole, I ended up back in Mallorca. The owner of that boat sold his company that year and bought 3 properties in Mallorca, a new development. And I moved from the boat to look after the properties for him. And my first job was the snagging list. I had to do all the snagging to make sure that the things were right. And that meant dealing with the project management company. And so I met my husband in a bathroom to discuss the scratches on the bath. And there we were, synchronicity again. There was my future husband, and we've been married 27 years. He's from South Africa. He arrived into Mallorca on a boat as well.
Oh, wow.
And neither of us wanted to make either the UK or Cape Town our respective homes. So Mallorca became our home.
Oh, wow. That's an amazing story. That's so cool. And you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur. What are some of the things that you have found you needed to work through to be able to be the best entrepreneur you can be?
I think the biggest things you have to work through is working with yourself, and that's an ongoing process. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you're learning about or what you have to develop yourself as you're moving through the stages. And I think that's one of the biggest puzzles. We create our reality.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you want the reality, you've got to change something in you. So working on you is the biggest thing.
Yeah. But I did totally resonate with it and recognize it. I talked to a couple of my friends who said, what's entrepreneurship like for you? I said, if you want to find yourself the biggest personal development course in the world, start becoming an entrepreneur. I mean, you're literally trying to get to know yourself. You're rediscovering yourself. You get through any limiting beliefs that you thought you never had. Get to do things that you thought you never do. I mean, this interview going live on Facebook, if you had told me 6 months ago that I would be doing this, I would have just laughed in your face and said, I'm not gonna go live, talk to the screen on my phone. That sounds weird. That sounds really crazy. But it is the biggest personal development course that you can ever find. And one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, the lady there literally said, every level has a new devil. Mm-hmm. That you need to rediscover yourself again before you can move to another level.
Yeah, I call it Super Mario style.
Yes.
So you know that Super Mario, if you've ever played the game, off you go on your little computer screen and you've got all these tasks that you've got to, achieve before you can get to the next world or the next level. And then when you get there, you've got a big decision to make. Yeah. Do you go looking for those new tasks and those new things that you've got to do? Or do you look around and go, geez, this is really scary, and go back down to the next level, where you were comfortable? And life is really just a Super Mario game. It's constantly moving up to the next level. Yeah. And you define that level. For some people, like Steve Jobs and, the big names in the world, those are huge levels. And for other of us, it's just having... the understanding that if this is where you want to get to, you've got to improve, and it's a daily improvement. Yeah. And your level is, you define your level, so it's what you want to do. Yeah. That's but you've got to know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you, what I can imagine is that for the audience that you support, 50 years and older, it's the same pattern. They're wondering, what's my next level, and who do I need to become to jump on that next level? And you help them on the intersection between those.
Yeah, and the only difference is when you get to 50, you do make the realization that life's going to come to an end at some point. Yeah. And that's the biggest difference. All of a sudden, you don't have those 50 years you had before. Yeah. There's no time like the present, there's no messing about now. You've got to grow up, sort of thing, if you want to do something, and you've got to get on with it. There's, you can't say, oh, I can wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow may never come. So.
And thinking back on your almost 30 years of doing this work, what has been your biggest challenge or biggest jump to another level?
Myself.
Explain. What does that mean?
It's always the same. If we create our reality, then changing anything, the biggest challenge is you. And so the biggest challenge can be, as you said, can be anything, depending on whatever level you're playing at. It can be defining what you want to do. It can be creating a team around you. It can be whatever. But in order to do those things, you've got to change your mindset in order to be able to do that. So it's whatever.
And can you, totally agree. Can you give an example of one of the things that you've changed about you to be able to go next level in your business?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've done is I've created tools that can help me. Because when you're just sort of like doing the headless chicken impression, where you're just doing things because you think it's for the sake of doing things, then it can be a problem. So about 5 years ago, I made a decision that I didn't want to go big, as in I didn't want to create an online funnel. I wanted to go smaller. It's not 5 years ago, it's 4 years ago. 4 years ago, my husband got the opportunity to move to Zanzibar. And so he's been building a 5-star hotel down there. And so what happened to us was we had a really nice lifestyle. We had a nice 6-bedroom home and pool. The kids had just literally flown the house, so I no longer got the boys at home. And, we had to make a decision about what we wanted to do with our lives. And I wanted to simplify. And simplify means simplifying everything. So simplifying meant selling the house and downsizing. In fact, we spent quite a while living in a 2-roomed, tin-roofed house by the beach in Zanzibar with a 20-kilo suitcase, and all of a sudden you realise what simplicity means. And then after that, during that time, I actually walked the Camino de Santiago as well, where you have to carry your life on your back. So that was 7.5 kilos, and that was enough. And I survived 34 days with 7.5 kilos. So all of a sudden, you begin to realise that you can simplify everything.
Yeah.
And simplification has become a big word for me. So online, ditching all your emails. I'm in the process now of going through one of my groups and taking out people who no longer participate. Because for me, it's wasted energy for me and it's wasted energy for them. So simplifying everything, having a system where I love to work one-on-one. Okay, so it doesn't make for great money, I'm not going to make millions doing that. But does it make me happy? It gives me my goose pimples. It's the bit that I really, really like.
Yeah.
So simplifying your systems is a big word, I think, in everything.
Yeah.
In your health and everything, because if you're not well, you can't do your work, etc., etc. So it's a whole holistic way of looking at it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, simplifying. And for those of you who are watching right now or on the replay, let us know, how can you simplify anything in your life right now? Just let us know, what is it for you? If you could imagine your life being more simple than it is right now, how would that look like? I really love that. Kate, the last time that you and I were physically in the same country and in the same room, you gave me an amazing present, and that's this bracelet. I love it. Can you share with us what this bracelet is about?
So this is a manifestation or a visualization tool, and it's something that I use every day, and it's something that I get my clients to use every day as well. And I know that you have enjoyed using it, Luna. People who use it have amazing things happen in their life much quicker than they anticipated and expected. And it's very simple. So every bracelet has got beautiful colour beads. What you do is you choose one to start the process, and then you choose an affirmation or a visualization, something that you want to create in your life. And you would chant like you do with a rosary bead. You chant round the bracelet itself until you get to the end, and then you put it down. And your subconscious brain will do the rest. The subconscious mind will do the rest for you. Yeah. And the thing with this is making it a habit. It's making sure that you do it at least once a day, on a morning or on a night. And you keep the process going until whatever you've been wanting to achieve in your life has happened. Yeah. And then you pick it up the next morning and you choose a new one and you keep going. So it's a constant process. It's a magical bracelet.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I shared with you that my nieces have done several tries to get this bracelet off my arm and into their bags. So I'm very happy that you sent me 2 more, so I can make them happy by giving it them as they grow older and be able to understand what the bracelet is about instead of just using it as a toy. Yeah. So I really love that. And what I especially love is, and I remember that I did a workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we literally challenged the participants in doing a specific action consistently for 21 days. So it becomes a habit, because in that period, you're literally working against your brain, and your brain constantly tries you to get back into the comfort zone in that type of thing that your brain knows, because its function is to protect you. And it does that by keeping you in your comfort zone. That's why changing or deciding something else is not enough. You need to be committed and try to fight that instinct. And this bracelet really helps in reminding, even if I forget in the morning, then I'm looking at the bracelet and thinking, oh, I should do it right now. It's constantly reminding me of the decision and commitment that I made to myself, because I did not make it to anyone else besides myself.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, if you don't want to wear it, I have mine on my desk. it's about habits are really amazing things that we've created them from somewhere in the first place, and either they serve us or they don't.
Yeah.
And so breaking a habit can be very difficult, especially if we're attempting to do it by just physically or mentally forcing ourselves to break the habit.
Yeah.
So a really, really good way of introducing a new habit is to attach it to a habit you already like.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you want to go walking on a morning, you make sure your walking boots are ready at the side of your bed with the shoelaces undone, because if you get out of bed and even the boots might be there, but you have to physically undo the shoelaces to put them on,
Yeah.
guess what might happen? You might not put them on.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the bracelet. It wants to be in a place where you know, for example, I quite often leave mine on the top of my closed computer, so it's ready for me in the morning. So even before I open my computer, I'm picking up my bracelet and doing my affirmations.
Yeah.
So anything you can do that creates a new habit in a way that is going to make it successful is to attach it to another one. So that really works.
Yeah, yeah, and I especially love that because we talked about going next level, playing Super Mario in your life to be able to show up as the best person that you need to be, whether that is you're an entrepreneur or you're employed, whatever you need to do to contribute to the world. It's all about being mindful of the habits that you already have that are not serving you anymore, but you need to replace them with something new, and that just takes effort. And we have a small amount of willpower each and every day, and usually most of us, by the time we hit lunch, it's gone, the willpower, and you need to make it automatic and routine so your brain does not lose any energy thinking about it, does it anyway. So I really like that as a means to support ourselves in being a better person and busting through those things that are holding us back. What will your tips be for entrepreneurs that are watching us, whether they're live or on the replay, when they hit a roadblock? How to notice it or how to change it? What would you share?
So just one question, I think. It goes back to this thing about we create our reality. So if we're creating our reality, what crap have you created, basically? So to ask yourself, is this story crap? If it's a roadblock, it's there for whatever reason you've put it there. So it's about you going, okay, so, what do I want to do about this roadblock? Is it possible that the story I'm telling myself is absolute rubbish? If it is rubbish, what can I replace it with? Saying to yourself, is this crap? I think it's a really good way of doing it, because it allows you to go, hang on a minute, this is my story. What have I created about this that's making it unbearable? I meet people who say, I never seem to be able to do things right, or my life's never right, and when you think about it, for whatever reason, you've created your life like that. And so what do you want to uncreate? So the first thing is, well, I don't want this in my life anymore. So great. So like you said earlier about the habits, so you've created this vacuum. What do you want to fill it with? And so it's redefining your story. It comes back down to visualization again, to re-visualize it in the way that you want it to be. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious because I've in the workshops that I've done where I use visualization, or even on a brainstorm, whatever word I use depending on the audience I'm in front of, I get a lot of people that think, I can't think beyond today. How can I visualize a future where I have more, be more, do more than I'm doing right now? That's not a picture that they have in their minds. What would your tip be for that type of a person?
There's something else I want to note here as well. Not everybody can visualize. Some brains do not see. And so if a person cannot do that and they'll say, but I don't see pictures, then that's fine. It's a small percentage of the population, but there are people who can't see. So in that case, what you want to do is you want to feel. And you want to feel those emotions, so you want to be in charge. And then the thing is, if you can't see into the future, we're all told we need to be present and we need to be in the now. And this is very, very important. When you've got something you want to create, if you're wanting to create a business, then you will have business goals. So it's like eating the elephant, isn't it? We all know that you can only eat an elephant bite by bite. It's how you break down those goals so that you can literally focus in on the now, on one specific part of that,
Yeah.
eating the elephant, and
Yeah.
not worry about the rest.
Yeah.
So it's really breaking it down. It's simplifying it. It's chunking it down, making it simple so that you can do the one task that in 12 months' time will get you to the goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very
Amazing.
important.
Amazing. Before we wrap this up, what do you want to share with whoever is watching this, either live or on the replay?
So again, it comes back to, you are the universe. You're creating what you want to create. You're vibrating in a way that's creating this today, as we're talking now. It's waking up every morning, and the South American Indians have a beautiful saying. They say, "Today is a good day to die." So making sure that today is the best you can make it.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that, then you're doing absolutely awesome.
That's a beautiful, it reminds me of something that I heard literally years and years ago, is live today as if today is your last day that you're going to live, but also live today as if you're going to live forever.
Yeah.
And I really, it stayed with me this, and I think they're so beautiful to keep as a type of affirmation. What would you do if you knew that today is the last day? How would you show up today?
Yeah.
But also, if you knew that you're going to live forever, then there is a lot of years that you need and a lot of days that you need to be feeling how do you want to spend them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. So on that note, Kate, thank you for having chosen to spend this time with me and sharing your beautiful stories, all the way from the beautiful Mallorca. I hope to come visit you someday.
Yeah, you have to come soon.
Yes, I know. And I hope you have a very happy day. For those of you that are watching, have an enormous, happy and joyful today. Make it count today. And I hope to see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me, Livna.
It's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining in. Bye-bye.
Bye.